Me and my friends, Carson and Cyrus, will be doing the beginning to end. Charles Darwin, in the dapper suit over there, is doing Charles Darwin. And Cyrus, also dressing pretty dapper, is going to be doing the evolution of the universe and Earth and the animals on it. Oh, and I'm also doing the future evolution of humans. That's anything important.
Run over to the thing, just press spacebar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are all looking wonderful tonight. You look wonderful, everyone looks wonderful. Okay, so I am Charles Darwin. I know, it's pretty great. So today I will be talking about my life because I guess I'm a narcissistic person. And so yes, it all starts back in 1809 on February 14th. So there was a man named Robert Darwin and a woman named Robert Darwin and a woman named Susanna Darwin. So they had a child, and I am the child, first of all. And so I was the fifth out of six. I was the youngest, the second youngest, I believe. I have really bad memory, so. So I grew up in a wonderful home with a wonderful family. But that all kind of changed when I was 8 years old when my mother died. So that was quite a bad experience for the whole family because my father, he ended up leaving the house more because he was a doctor, so that made him devote more of his time, I guess, into his medical career. So that left my sisters, Carolyn and, my memory is kicking in again, I'm sorry. It's unfortunate, but so they were mainly running the house because they were the oldest out of the six of us. So the house remained pretty tidy and well kept. So yeah, I guess I grew up with my sisters after my mother's death. So I always had a really hard time in school. I just really didn't enjoy it. So I ended up dropping out, and I ended up going to work with my older brother, who was studying medicine with me in college or university, because I can't remember again. So after a while of studying medicine, I ended up dropping out of that too because of a reason I do not feel like talking about. So that was a bad experience. So I ended up going through a lot of failed careers, I guess you could say. So I ended up finally coming across this one thing on one dark, stormy night. I was walking through the sad, dark, cold, and I came home to see this letter that was about to change my life. It was a very interesting letter inviting me to come aboard the HMS Beagle. Beagle or Bugle? Whatever. Beagle. So I immediately took it. I mean, nothing else to do. So the invitation was inviting me to be a naturalist on this voyage. So I took it. I had a few problems with my sisters and father, but whatever. I was like 22, so I took it, and I ended up going on this voyage. So I learned a lot of stuff there. As I said, I was a naturalist. I guess I still am. I guess. So that went pretty well for me. I came back and I wrote quite a few books on things I've learned, but there was something that I would like. I started to think a bit deeper about things. I began to think more of, like, I guess, deeper in the past, and so I ended up coming up with this theory. I call it the theory of evolution. I think I might have renamed it over the time. So, yeah, it took me a while to publish because I'm a Christian man, and so it took me quite a while to figure it out. But eventually I published it, of course. And now my good friend Cyrus here will be explaining the theory of evolution.
Okay, well, thank you for that, and thank you for calling me dapper earlier. That was pretty nice. So there are many different theories on how humans have evolved in general, or how we were all created. One of them is that we evolved from microscopic cells billions of years ago. Well, almost 1 billion years ago. And another one is we were created by God. And one that I found that was kind of interesting was the universe was just created last Thursday and nothing ever actually happened. That one always confuses me, and it keeps me up at night for a few hours. So don't think about it too much. It's not fun. So I'm going to be going with we evolved from microscopic cells, the one that Mr. Darwin over here came up with. So if we want to figure out how we evolved ourselves, let's come up with how everything else evolved with us. A lot of unused slides. So with the theory of evolution, it's where everything around us evolved from something smaller, something at the beginning. And I got a little bored at this point. So let's start with how the universe was created. So I'm going to go with the Big Bang Theory. I'm not trying to put this on anyone if they're Christian or anything like that. I understand. So this is just the most well-known one, and Big Bang Theory is also a great show, and I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun to watch when you're bored and lonely in your basement and you don't have Netflix. So how the universe started was there were very few different types of elements in the universe. It was thought that there were only maybe a couple 100,000. It may sound like a lot, but really that's like, there's more than a couple 100 billion in this exact room, and even on my hand. So with the multiple types of particles, a few types combined, creating a new element and particle, causing a ginormous explosion, causing everything to become this. A really empty feeling room, yet it's actually extremely full. After all of that, 10 billion years later, Earth started becoming a little advanced for its age. Considering that it was only about 4.7 billion years old, it shouldn't have been this advanced. So it's at 3.4 billion years ago, Earth starts developing something different, water. This had been developed on a few other planets, such as Mars, and we still don't know if anything could have existed there because, well, right now it looks like a big red rock that you would find randomly on, like, a playground. So with Earth developing something so different, it gave chances for other things, a chance for life. With the heat and radiation from the center of the very early Earth and the life-sustaining water that was needed to create life, well, life just decided, hey, I'm going to join in this world, let's go. And so in the very beginning, life was very simple. Single-celled organisms, nothing was really very great. Not too long after that, though, multi-celled organisms started evolving. I'm just going to flip this, even though I passed everything on here. So 521 million years ago, trilobites appear. I have a trilobite in my hand right now. This is probably a copy of an actual fossil, but it's definitely not a real fossil because I don't even know if I have one of those. That would be difficult to find.